Is this working? Is this working at all? Am I insane? Is this working? I'm gonna need chat confirmation. Am I actually streaming here? Uh-huh. Yes, alright, great. Alright then, welcome, welcome. I haven't done any of this before. This would be my first time streaming. Glad to see all sorts of people here. We're just gonna go over general basics and then get into work. So, starting up, for those who are unaware, Biohazard is an upcoming, quote-unquote, professional Roblox horror game that I've worked on for some months in my free time, but now taking more seriously. Why am I... What do you mean, only in your right ear? Integrated space, I have no idea, is... I don't know, I haven't had any audio problems. Okay, continuing onwards though, Biohazard, yeah, upcoming project I've been working on for several months now. What you're looking at right now is, storage, I think, really, just for, the game. I'm gonna close some applications and streamline this. Alright, I've never gauged this before. Do you guys prefer light mode or dark mode? For studio, that is. Light mode or dark mode? Because I'm a light mode user. You guys can hear me, correct? I think... Dark mode. Okay, so it is dark mode. Alright, there's a stream delay. Let's see, actually. How do I edit this? Stream settings. None of that I can change right now. Okay, well, there's a delay. There's a delay, and I'm just gonna have to live with it. So you guys are gonna hear me delayed, or I'm gonna hear you delayed, either one, so... does this show up? No, you guys don't see this. Let's see. Studio, and... it should be in dark mode. You guys can be happy now. Alright, so... Biohazard. I've been doing some prop work, but I am actually behind schedule a little bit, so you guys might actually get to watch a bit of modeling, and I'm going to be taking some suggestions as I model, so I'm going to mess with some of my applications, and so I can see the chat while I work. Thank you for everybody, though, and your support already in keeping up. I mean, we've already hit, what is it at now? It's at like 40,000. There's like 40,000 views. That's wild. For the first devlog, and we've jumped from 25 subscribers all the way to over 2,000. That's insane. We're just gonna go right into actually modeling because I am behind schedule, as I said. So let's see here. Blender. You should be able to see all this. I'm going to be taking up QA while I work on models because I'm behind schedule and want to make sure that we have some models to work with. Alright, are you guys joking? Can you hear me or not? Because I'm hearing... Am I insane? Okay, so some of you are just saying you can't hear me. What? Cole, you're lying, Cole. Cole the programmer. You have to be lying. You have to be lying. Okay, let's go into this. So I'm going to be taking up suggestions, any questions, suggestions. Actually, no, we're doing questions right now. So if you have questions about the game, like what is it about? Are you going to be in first person? Are you going to be able to play with friends, etc.? All that sort of question stuff, we're going to be doing that first while I model, and then we're going to jump into actual building and development. We're going to talk about how I go about making the map, and then, I don't know, just work for a few hours. How long have I been using Blender? I've been using Blender for roughly, this would be, I think, my second year now. And I hand paint and texture all of my models. So, there's some discrepancies, like here I have a discrepancy with this little spot on the model, but generally I like what it looks like when I hand paint everything. There's a certain flair to it that's nice. So I'm gonna grab the color again of what I was using. What is this? Yeah, that's close enough. Will there be more than just a lab? There is going to be all sorts of environments. We're going to be doing some of them right now. We're going to be doing some, let's see, we're going to be doing some ventilation. We're going to be doing some lobby concepts. We're going to be doing a lot of hallways stuff, making some templates. Mainly, I made some new materials and textures that we're going to be using, and this is some of the models that we're going to be using as well. I'm currently working on a lot of desk variations. How many entities do I plan to make? That's an interesting question. I actually don't know how many total I want yet, but it's going to range somewhere, at least like a good variety. I want to have a good variety. So there's going to be at least more than maybe 5. There's going to be lore. There's going to be all sorts of world building. This is not going to be entirely file-based. It's not going to be entirely just audio files that you're going to have to find and listen to. It's going to be more interactive. Like, Doors is the other end of this. Doors, as I'm sure everybody knows, like, you as the player directly experience the seek chase, the figure encounter, etc. That's part of the story, at least from what I can tell. And then other games like Pressure, they like to hide the lore as well into their files. I'm going to be doing something a little down the middle, where it's not entirely files and it's not entirely, like, direct events. You're going to be able to experience. Players who choose to look into the lore are going to be able to find lore, like you can in Pressure, or you can just play the game and experience it yourself. What is the ending going to be like? That you'll have to find out when you play. Estimate on game release. I'm aiming for before Christmas time, before holidays, so I can get some seasonal stuff in, but also just to give you guys time, like, since I know a lot of people get holiday breaks, so it's going to be generally before December-ish, or during December. It's going to definitely be before New Year's, for sure. What am I needing? I need my textures. Yes, grime. I love grime on my models because it adds detail. When is these? No, that's not relevant. How many visits do you plan on getting? I have no idea. Will there be different survival difficulties? I am thinking about modifiers. These would be like general modifiers between like easy, difficult, impossible, and I'm not too sure. Right now, I only intend on releasing with one base version of the game, and modifiers would be a whole different area going into the future. Can we suggest... We'll get into suggestions later. So everybody thinking about suggestions right now, you don't have to worry about that right this moment. We're going to have like a dedicated little segment where you'll get your little piece. I'm going to read through as many as I can while we talk about some stuff. This is mainly like a Q&A session. I'm going to be interacting a lot. Maybe not as much development as I'd like, but it is something to keep me company. I don't have to be alone while I do all this. Don't add BioLife. Yeah, I have 0... Okay, let me clarify. I have 0 intention right now of adding purchasable lives. You're gonna have... It's gonna be like Minecraft Hardcore. I think what's gonna happen is I'm gonna have to add saves, so you'll be able to exit the game and save it. Like, there's gonna be save checkpoints, but there will be no live buying. It's gonna be like Minecraft Hardcore, where if you die, it's over, you start over from the beginning. Because it's gonna be a fairly long game. Like, it can take anywhere from 30 minutes for a quick ending to maybe multiple hours worth of work and time. Especially because the whole map is procedurally generated. Will there be any game passes? I only intend, on monetization, in terms of like stuff you can purchase, I only intend of like adding stuff that is cosmetics. Nothing of the sorts of like advantages that you can get that would be unfair to other players. It's gonna... Okay, the game saving system, it's going to be checkpoint based. So you might reach some part of, like, say it's the equivalent of reaching door 50 on Doors, and you get to leave the game before you go play Doors 50. But then once you die, you have to start over from the very beginning. Is there going to be scripted events and cutscenes? I'm a big fan of Valve's live cutscenes, where instead of like taking the player camera angle, you have the stuff happen around the player and they get to move around it. So that's going to be kind of what like scripted events would be like, where the player gets to experience it as it goes around. Is there any minigames? So obviously in the devlog I had posted one version of the computer minigame. We can take a look at that when we get in studio later. But there's going to be different minigames for different interactables. I say Valve. Okay, Valve, yeah. Half-Life storytelling. I haven't played Half-Life, ironically. Or I've played the base game, but I haven't played Half-Life 2 or any of the other things. I thought the story ended well where it was by the end of the first Half-Life. Will all content on your channel be on just this game and game development stuff, or including other games you make, or will there be other stuff? I'm not going to make another channel. I'm not going to force you guys to go subscribe to another channel and keep up to other content. I'm not going to post, like, game stuff solely on my Discord. It's going to also be on my channel when possible. Everything's going to go on my channel, basically. You don't have to worry about subscribing to multiple stuff. We can get into how I make textures later. Right now, this is how I make Blender textures for my props. So this is different from the wall textures we're going to see in a moment when we get on Studio. Okay, I need to clarify this. This is not a linear game. This is not Doors or Pressure where there are door 30, door 50. You're not worried about having to go through the game in a linear fashion. This is a non-linear game. The whole thing is randomly generated, and you're expected to go back through previous parts of the game to be able to unlock more stuff. Like, perhaps you've got a key card that goes to a door that you previously couldn't go through. So it's going to be non-linear. I'm not labeling the doors. There'll be general map indications, but not anything about numbered doors. Wouldn't the game work better with more survival horror style saving? Using checkpoints seems a bit odd considering the game is non-linear. You're right. I don't want to add, like, the ability to set a checkpoint everywhere, though. There are, like, certain story beats. Okay, there's, like, certain story beats I want to implement to the game where if you're sticking to a specific schedule, like, if you're getting to the right place at the right time, you'll be there to witness certain things. And the player is expected to try and, like, get through as many as they can. Like, you can skip all the story beats and go about escaping on your own terms, or you can kind of follow along with what's happening and see if you can... What did I just texture? Wrong thing. And see if you can find, like, a way out or what happened, etc. So, in terms of saving, I guess I'm going to have, like, certain checkpoints. It's going to be very limited checkpoints. Don't think you're going to be able to save, like, every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes. This is more like maybe a third through the game, halfway through the game, there'll be a save station. And this is just going to save your general progress. It's not going to be like you can't go back to previous levels. This is just like a general progress. Are we going to make entities in the stream? Not today. I am afraid that not today we are making entities. That's going to be a future stream. Probably later this week, I have some entity concepts that I want to... especially what somebody has posted on my Discord. I have some interesting ideas I want to play off of, so stay tuned for that. There will be a future stream for entities specifically. But will there be any characters in the game, and will they have spoken voice acting? Yes. The answer is yes. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm intending to have full-on voice acting for this. I didn't put this in the devlog, but there's recorded lines that I've made for the game already, like voiceovers, announcements of automated PA system, but also some character stuff. It's very limited, but it's a general idea. It gives me a general idea of where I want to go with it. So there is voice lines, and I intend to continue adding more. There is the possibility. Actually, this is the one thing a lot of people have been asking me about helping with the game, composing music, etc., animations. I've usually said no, but I do intend. I think I do intend to ask everybody regarding if there are anybody willing to voice act for the game, because I want a variety of voices. How long have I been scripting? I've been scripting for roughly almost 2-3 years. It's getting closer to 3 years now. And no, I'm not adding guns. There's not going to be any direct guns. There's no direct way to combat the entities. Instead, there may be special items. I've mentioned this in my Discord before, but there may be special items like flares that can be very rare, but can distract. And it's not going to be like a simple distraction, but it's just something that it's one of your last resort items, perhaps, like rare stuff that you can find. When is the game coming? I've said this this November, probably. Or this November, December. Depending on how much time I can put into this. I want to make sure you guys get a quality game. I'm not putting this into like an early access where I'm releasing the game fully, but as an early access saying, oh, future content coming soon. I'm going to be doing early access testing, but that's only going to be for the people in my Discord before the second devlog. These early access is just mainly for quality assurance. It's not going to be for general public. General public will get to play when I finish the game. I want a completed game. Will the company that you work for be viewed as the villain in the story? Not necessarily. I'm not going to say much because I think I'd rather you guys play the game and find out for yourself and make interpretations. What do you decide, like, certain things mean? Does this show up? No, it doesn't. Okay, you guys can't see me when I'm selecting files. That's fine by me. Will there be destruction? In some cases. Like, you'll be able to, I think, like, break glass items and such, but not major destruction. I'm not focusing on that too much. Will there be hall running entities like Rush? No, this is a non-linear game, so there's not going to be any hall-based entities. What did I do? Okay, I set the brightness, not the saturation. How does that look? Oh, I like that. Can you make more than one type of enemy? Yeah, I'm planning on making all sorts of entities. I've just been trying... I don't want to make something that I don't feel like... Okay, with the Seeker models I made in the devlog, I thought that was worthwhile because I could learn more about how I want to design the character, and I ultimately did do a redesign on the model. But future entities are going to be a lot more planned. We're going to have a specific stream for that soon. Any non-player characters, NPCs... Perhaps. We'll have to come and see. Who knows? Will there be any entities that stalk you? Unclear. I don't know. I'd have to think about that more. Will mobile PC compatibility? Talking about compatibility, that is great, because I'm thinking I want full compatibility. I think everyone deserves a chance to play the game. So, console and mobile are probably going to have their compatibility when the game releases. Alright, the DC is getting raided. What is the DC? Oh, the Discord. Hold on. It can't be that. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's only like 20 of you. Alright, well, I'll do that later. You guys can have fun. I'll handle that after the stream, because I want to make sure that I don't neglect everybody already in the stream. I'm closing Discord because I don't want to be bothered while I do this. Are you able to have a visual sound indicator like Pressure's death mode? I actually... no, I actually haven't thought about that. I don't know. I'm not personally have, like, I think this is my first time that I've been mentioned to consider like a death mode. So that'd be something I'd be willing to consider. My only issue is that it could be used as a tool to make the game easier for players who aren't actually impaired. If you do all the objectives and hopefully escape the facility, will there be a new map where you're outside the facility? Well, it's hard to explain without telling you about the story of the game, and if I tell you about the story of the game, that would ruin everything now, wouldn't it? So, I guess you're just gonna have to wait. Nobody told me this was gonna be a waiting simulator. When does the lore release? The lore is the game, so the game releases in December, and so will the lore. Will you be able to throw stuff at monsters? I mean, yeah, I could consider that. You can make a feature request in the Discord when I roll everybody. You'll be able to throw... I guess I can add that feature. I'm not going to say it's going to be effective, but it's just... I think that having more features is better than just having the functional ones. So even if it's completely useless... it's an extra feature. Okay, I'm going to export these models now, and we're going to go right into map making, and we can talk about how I designed the maps, the lighting, everything. I just needed to have these like desk models made so I could use them in-game. Alright then. And... Alright, you guys still can't see any of that, so that's fine by me. Questions I should... Am I going to add modifiers? As of the moment, it's not something planned for full release, but something I am willing to consider. Where's my Blender Objects folder? Okay, here we go. Will there be background music, and so will it be custom? Yeah, I'm gonna try and learn how to fully compose like background. I'm gonna learn how to make background music. I've already done a menu theme. You can find that on my channel since that's the only one I've posted. I've tried doing some other things, like there's an intro to the game that I'm planning. The only real cutscene, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna be trying to have unique music that I composed. Short desk, work desk, and then corner work desk. I mean, there's not really much of a reason for entities to throw stuff at you. How's it already been 20 minutes? That's wild. Do you use a specific algorithm for your map generation? We can talk about that now that we're getting into Studio. I'm going to switch it over to Studio now. So, let's see. Roblox Studio. Here we go. Alright then. Let's import some stuff. Oh, crap. I'm going to need to get a second monitor for you guys, because I'm not going to see the chat at this rate. Will there be multiple areas? Yes. Despite the fact that the map is going to be broken up, that the map is going to be non-linear, it's still going to be broken up into regions. So, yes, I do intend to have different regions of the map with different purposes. And this, obviously, is going to be randomly generated. Alright. Work desk. If this import's wrong, I'm going to cry. What happened to you? I didn't save any of the... Okay, great. Hold on, I gotta save everything now. Office furnishing. And then save the work desk base. And then save the corner desk texture. And then re-import everything. Short work desk. Will the map have some sort of limitations? Will the map some sort of limitations? As a nuclear plant that just goes off into one direction doesn't really make sense. Huh? I'm gonna need more elaboration on that. Will there be a hydraulic door system that keeps entities out for some reason? I may have, like, sort of gates that can separate areas, but nothing about... I don't think any of the doors are gonna be hydraulic similar to pressures, or at least in design. Short work desk. Now, if I import this, this should be correct. If it imports wrong, again, I shall cry. What? Why is it taking forever to load? Here we go. There we go. That is much better. Will inventory be done as a hotbar like doors and pressure? Will it be different? I've yet to figure out. It's probably going to be a hotbar, yeah, since I think there's going to be several items. But what I like to do is, let's see, we have a model here. I like to have, like, stuff you have on you as things you wear to show that you are actively, you do actively have certain items. So, for example, I have this lanyard here for the keycard. There's going to be no crafting system. Will there be event system? I wonder. We'll talk about that later. I was making some props for this stream, and we'll have fun with that later. Well, dead entities that try and grab you, and you have a minigame to escape. I don't know about that. Again, feature suggestions, we'll get to that later. Right now, I'm just importing some stuff so we can begin our map development, because we're going to be doing some map work together. Might want to hide the properties bar just in case people quickly stop the video and we'll... I really don't care. I mean, they can see what I have in studio. I'm not actively worried about, like, leaking all this stuff. You're welcome to try and recreate all this, but seeing the properties isn't that bad. Have you played... No, I have not played Interliminality. Will events be traversable? Yes. This is honestly one of the best games. Thank you. Who again? What are username? Will you add quests? There's going to be sort of objectives, like, you have sort of an idea of what you can do, but it's entirely up to the player how you want to go about things, because it's semi-open world. Like, I say semi in the sense, like, there is general directions that you want to go in. You don't want to... You're not fully opened up to go everywhere and anywhere in any manner. But it is semi-open world in the sense that you get the options to go to some places prior to others. How many types of rooms do you plan on having on Biohazard? I thought about labs, hallways, recreation rooms, offices. I suppose you have other ideas. I do have other ideas, and we'll go over them, but, like, the general vibe is that the procedural generation isn't boring. It's something like this, where it's unique, and I have... Okay, I'm going to explain this. JJ here does some code work occasionally where he's kind of like messing with NPC system. So he hasn't contributed anything. I was thinking of announcing him the second devlog, but you guys get the early view. And Spirit, you better not be counting again. But this is basically the general idea of the procedural generation, is that I'm going to have, like, these unique hallways that have all these sort of details, and then I'm going to go furthermore into the procedural generation to randomize everything by making things like all of these desks are going to be randomly generated with what's on them. I already generate randomly, like, what's on these papers. If we go in-game and run a test, then you can see that I've generated random papers that you can then read and find about in-game. There's not going to be any explosive barrels. I'm not actually an explosive barrels fan. Kind of wacky. Will you have references like how doors have the room's subfloor? You're gonna need to elaborate. In some of the minigame computers, will you have to complete the minigame to open a door that's locked? That's always a possibility. Like, there's always the possibility that you're gonna have to do certain things before you get to go to other places. Do the papers contain lore? That's something for you to figure out later, but usually not. Now we have these work desks. How much lore will be here? I'm thinking of building a lot of story for you guys to find out, but that's all for you to play and figure out. Will you add Easter eggs? There will be some Easter eggs, but I mean, these are just general stuff. If you think about it, of course, why would I not add Easter eggs? Let's start making a new room. I have some textures here, so these are more of my concrete materials that I'm thinking about. Well, not materials, but textures that I'm thinking about using. General asset store of textures that I've made, and then we have new materials. Like here I have some of the... Get out of the way. Here are some of the materials, and these go in order of when I made them. And I am proud. I have a new one from today. This one. Is this going to load properly? Metal... And we'll set you to metal plating. Yes, the rivet. Any fire exits? Well, kind of hard since there's not really a real exit. Can there be a chance one of the computers gets RGB mouse and keyboard? Difficult considering that the technology set in this universe is more retro-esque. Will there be a noise system? I don't think so. I don't. Will be like sound system if you make too much sound. The entities, perhaps. I mean, that depends. That goes into AI programming, and I'm not actively. I've already done some tests on the seekers here, but I've come to the consensus that they're pretty dumb, and they're probably going to be redone. The game can be played on mobile. That's my intent. Is that I'm going to add compatibility for mobile. Can I add? We can do all. Okay. We're gonna shift on over to map development now. Now that we have, like, the actual prop I wanted to use here, some desks, we're gonna actually get into some map development and really explore what we can do here. So, let's see. Let's set the... Close all this stuff up. Lighting. Goodbye. I want to be able to see things again. Should use state machines for AI. I'll have to look into that. Can there be a faulty terminal? It'd have to be something clear, otherwise people won't know that it's faulty, because I like to make things interactable. Alright, so we're going to do it over here, roughly. And is this the material floor I want to use? I think so. Yeah, same one as that. Is the map infinite? No. We'll do a quick demo of the map generator, but this is basically the map generator in action. I'm not going to show how I go up the actual script for the generation, but I can edit how many rooms. Basically, you start out at a room over here, and it'll generate everything up until the final room. And obviously, it's a lot more twisty-turny because these are the templates it chooses from, and I've got a lot of turning ones. So it's it loops back in on itself a lot. Will there be blocked off routes and you have to find another way? That is part of what I have to consider with map generation, is if I want to add these things, I have to make sure that they have a route, otherwise people are going to get stuck, and then I get a lot of complaints, and then it's not so nice. Will there be a countdown room, like you have to get out of a room, but in a certain amount of time? There could be time-sensitive rooms, but I'm not too sure about that yet, because that's a lot, that's very specific. Will you add stories that reward you in game, gives you helpful loot? Well, that goes into the objective system, where if you do certain things at certain times, then you might have the opportunity of being able to do other stuff. It's not necessarily going to be loot, but it could be more clearance, like you get a new clearance card. Somebody gives you a clearance card for doing something. But what program do I use for texturing? I use Blender Texture Paint. So you can find a simple tutorial for Blender Texture Paint. As for the materials are a lot more annoying. I have to find the specific tutorial because I've only seen one on YouTube. But basically, I take some texture that already exists. Like, this is the flat version of the ceiling one I have here. The ceiling one is a material that has actual depth. But I have a texture, and I found a tutorial that teaches you how you can basically simulate that texture and turn it into a normal map, which simulates the depth. That's how I create depth with all of this stuff. No vehicle system. No vehicle system. There's not going to be any roads. Like, there's no surface. It's all interior. Mr. Chicken really wants maintenance hall work. No outside. There is no outside. It's entirely underground. In a future update, I could consider an outside, but it's going to be entirely inside right now. When will the new Seeker model put in? Well, I have to create animations, but then otherwise, technically, I could just put it in perfectly. Do you remember the tutorial name for making it? No, but I remember it's a really old one when Blender was first coming out. What's the average gameplay time? I don't have a gameplay time because right now these are all just features. Like, we're gonna keep the alarm. I like it. I broke the camera system, so it's gonna be... There's gonna be some wacky stuff that goes on, but we'll make some models later as well for the people wondering about that. Gameplay-wise, I only have, like, test stuff ready. The only thing that's really scripted for full functionality is the menu. So if I turn off studio mode and play, then this menu goes on. Obviously, the lighting's broken because I have this here. So this is the only technical thing that's like fully functioning in terms of actual gameplay. Will there be security cameras? Yes. I mean, that's part of the functionality for computers. How difficult do I plan to make the game? That depends on how the player chooses to play. There's going to be easier routes that are easier to do, but then there's going to be harder routes that are harder to do. And it depends on how you want to play the game. Like, if you want to take harder objectives, you're welcome to. Higher risk, higher reward. Guaranteed encounters. There are going to be some guaranteed encounters. Make the computers explode with a low chance that... No, it's not really a good feature to make it just randomly explode, and there's not too many situations where a computer could actually fatally injure somebody from exploding. What sort of minigames? Well, I have... Right now, this is the sort of style of mini... I forgot that I have studio mode enabled. Or studio mode disabled. So this is the current minigame, is that... it runs you basically through a calibration. And you just have to align it. That's the only thing about this. Like, it's just a time waster, but it's also novel. Like, I don't see some... it's not like a basic align the thing, or like, you have to find the... Speaking of finding the code, actually... I didn't mention this in the devlog either. I can hide codes on here. Don't think you're safe. Don't think you're safe in assuming that everything's going to be easy and you can just speed run the game. You're going to have to find the codes, and I'm pretty sure it was 111 if I remember correctly. I can randomize this, but studio mode basically just makes sure that the menu plays. So if I have studio mode enabled, it doesn't play the menu. That's so I can test stuff. If I have it disabled, it's going to put me in the menu. Will it be a short chase, like a monster that will come and then disappear after a few seconds of chasing? I mean, depends. Let's get into some map development, though, because I want to make some map. I want to have some map for us to play with and be able to go off of. So we're going to start off here. And I'm thinking of this semi-vertical kind of concept where I'm going to have this upper area, perhaps like an upper deck where we have all of these desks, and then we'll have a lower deck, which is the actual main hallway. Is this... there we go, that aligns. I'm not crazy. I'm gonna have there's gonna be a cafeteria room, but we're gonna get to that later. Like right now, this is the pre-map. Like before, I used to custom make every room, but it wasn't going perfect. So right now, I'm going to like generate everything randomly. So this is like kind of concept stuff of what I could do with the map, and then what we're doing now is going to be like concepts for the templates that I'm gonna make. So we're going to have an upper deck, which is basically going to be the, it's going to be where all the desks are, and then we'll have a lower deck, which is slightly lower, I think, and that's going to be where the actual walking is, and then we can have stairs, like little indent stairs. So we'll have like this lower deck is going to be maybe a little bit, like that. No parkour. I've actually it's going to be similar to doors where there's just, you're not able to jump. I don't think I want to limit this game to parkour because then, like, PC players are going to always be at an advantage. Words are hard. For the person who asked for closets, Mr. Chicken, I have lockers already. It's a little iffy because... Whoa. Okay, so what happened to the camera system? That's why. Oh, I have to disable all this stuff. Okay, so... Well, it's working perfectly in the devlog, so... I'll have to fix that later. Will there be crafting? No crafting. No crafting. I think realistically, like, crafting wouldn't even make sense. I think it's just, like, not something that people can viably do. Like, in this scenario, we're trying to keep it realistic. It's basically facility under lockdown, and, how do you react? How are you going to react in this lockdown? Things are coming after you, things that don't make sense, things that are scary. Any plans for other employees, or will the other player be the only employee in the game? There's going to be other employees. No, I don't... Well, actually, depends. I have no thoughts right now on killing the monsters. We're gonna grab a carpet texture because I like carpet. What I don't like is Roblox's new alignment thing. Not a fan of that. No references for SCP. No, it's gonna be entirely the world of Biohazard, its own little universe. Movable things like crates. Haven't really considered it. You're welcome to make a suggestion in the appropriate channel. So, okay, so we'll have like maybe a general lower deck, and we'll increase the... It's already been an hour. There's gonna be a trailer for the game, but it's not time yet. I don't have gameplay to really do a trailer of. Okay. Who's posting what in the Discord? Because I'm gonna make sure you never see. Goodbye. We don't say these things. Okay, sorry, I just had... somebody wasn't being a respectful individual. I'm gonna add all the observer roles after the stream. Okay then. Back to chat. What do you have to say? Can monsters knock down closets? Yet to be figured out. The little lockers, they're not meant to be like a solution. It's not something you're meant to be doing a lot. Is there gonna be like any type of weapons or things to kill the monsters? Not really. No. Am I gonna add a stun feature? That is actually more likely. I have a fun little idea. We might model this in a future stream, but I have a fun little idea for a little stun rod. You can either motivate the employee with an electrical shock, or, in this case, your friends if you're playing on multiplayer. Will there be mini games in the locker like doors? Probably not. It depends. Will there be any chance that a route is blocked and you have to find another way around? That depends on the procedural generation. I have ideas, but it all depends. Okay, so we're gonna have this upper deck, and then I'm thinking we can have like some sort of large pillars go up these sides here. And so we can have like the normal current ceilings we have up here. So we'll have like a lower down ceiling here, and then we'll have something more of a raised one down the middle. I think that might be unique. Will there be a release roadmap? I'm thinking I can set up a roadmap for the next devlog. Like, that'll be something I'll discuss in the next devlog. Will you make it if you pick up a contaminated object, you get a virus? I was thinking it was going to be something more like a mimic object. More like something from the game Prey from Bethesda, if I recall. I liked that concept a lot, and it's very similar to what I was going to do. Why does your lighting look so good? We'll talk about the lighting. We'll talk about the lighting when we get to that, but for now, we're just gonna steal my own lighting assets. Oh, whatever. We're gonna light this later. Hold on. Okay, we'll get rid of... make everything dark, but we'll turn up the ambient. There we go. Oh my gosh, that makes everything so much easier. If it's non-linear... it's a non-linear save system game. Minecraft Hardcore. The power of future lighting is so good, yet it looks so bad when it's not. So if we have everything down here, like, this already looks spectacular. I only have the one light, and it looks good. Like, if I add two, already really good. But if I turn on a lower graphics mode, like, if I go all the way down to the lowest graphics, it looks like poo. Like, what is this? You guys are gonna ruin my game by using low graphics mode. I don't know. I'll have to figure out an alternative for low graphics later. When do you plan for hiring a staff team for your Discord server or games? Staff team for the Discord, that's coming before the next devlog, I'm gonna say, and a development team would be for a future game or updates to Biohazard. Since I am a busy guy. Make a food monster that comes out of trays when you try to eat it. It's just a jump scare and doesn't do any actual damage. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. Similar to the Doors Timothy, but it's funnier because it's a piece of food. The pizza desires to consume. When did I start learning Lua programming, and any tips? I learned Lua programming on my own at the very beginning for several months, but then, okay, this is much rarer. I got very lucky. There was a mentorship opportunity for a Roblox game that basically teaches you more about programming, and then they offer you a job if you stick through the whole thing, and I stuck through the whole thing. So I still work at that place. MetaMethod makes games like SCP Roleplay, and they'd really taught me how to program effectively. But for people trying to do it on their own, I would say that you just need to get practice. Okay, for everybody who's just joined in, I'm currently running through some potential concepts on layout, because right now we have, like, okay, this is an old test room. I don't like it. Goodbye. We're going through map design concepts. So right now, this is what, like, this is prior work that I've done. I've already done this. It's the freaking thumbnail for the for this development stream. So this is what I had prior, and newer rooms like the lobby here. This was shown in the devlog. I'm applying the style to new areas. Like, I'm trying to make new design. We're trying to make concept art, basically. We're making concept art for the game. Making sure I'm not seeing anything bad. Okay, back to the stream. Can monsters destroy rooms? Depends, because I want to add saving, and so it makes it difficult to have unique destructions and then saving. JJ, I will evict you from the studio. You're not hijacking my stream. Get back to the NPCs. It's wild. You say you helped me with one thing last night and you're hijacking the stream. UI. Alright, will there be any bosses or like giant forms? Yet to be determined. I swear I had... what am I thinking of doing? Okay, so... what do I have? Do we need to make a custom We might need to make a custom. No, wait, I swear I have something. Hold on. Yeah, no, good enough. Good enough for... I'll replace the texture later. How do we get the reflections? We can talk about materials later. I'm not saying that. Could you add a phone that randomly rings and tracks the monsters? No, yeah, I mean, okay, you're welcome to make suggestions in the Discord after the stream, but everything right now, I'm just listening to some suggestions randomly. Alright, do I have an optimized cylinder somewhere that I can use? You look pretty optimized to me. We'll steal you, and we're gonna put you in meshes, the meshes folder. My mouse isn't functioning properly. Here we go. And then we'll steal that texture I wanted. I wanted this texture. JJ, where did you take... What are you doing with the Seeker? You know, whatever. You know, you do your own thing. You do your own thing. JJ's not hijacking my stream today. Will there be a lights out event? I mean, this is the lights out event. You are currently in a lockdown. It's not that there's a lights out event that could happen. It's that it is happening. You're undergoing some sort of event. This. All right, 20 perhaps. -5, -8. Yeah, here we go. Alright, so let's actually make this 15. Yeah, that's good. Okay, what else is there? Can you add a shadow that'll stalk you if you take too long to do something and kill you after he stalks and follows you around? No. I feel like I'm gonna let the player be obliged to do what they want and how they want it, and there'll be consequences. Like if they spend too much time on a computer, the consequence is that the entities are getting closer over time, like they're honing in or something like that. Or perhaps it's time sensitive, like you have to get this done in time or this NPC is going to die or something like that. So there are consequences for your actions, Mr. Freeman. Will there be distraction devices like an alien isolation? That's a suggestion that could go into the Discord. Getting rid of this thing. Alright. And we'll invert this so we can create maybe like an upper metal part to this. We'll add like maybe 0.1 in size to each end, and so we get this little like faint ring, and we can get rid of the texture. Turn it to metal. Yeah, it's hard to tell though with well, yeah, I liked it when it was brighter. Alright, well it's hard to tell with the lighting currently, but yeah, that's a metal. Set that to 3.2 so it sticks out a little bit more. Oh, the scary monster that flickers, lights, and makes a scary sound and is decently fast and it kills the... Wait a minute, that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. That sounds vaguely like something from Doors and Pressure. A 2D image that rushes you, perhaps. Really high damage. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'll make a custom mesh for this later so it fits in better. But, no, this is working. Will there be collapsing rooms? That's a bit harder to script, but I'd be open to that. For sure. Alright, and we're gonna make, I keep saying this, but we're gonna make meshes for a lot of things. This is just like temp stuff that we're messing with right now. So everything that we're doing is just for concept, and then we're gonna go in and, well, I'm probably gonna do this off stream, but I'll make like meshes for everything that you see, just to make it more optimized, or maybe a little bit more detailed. Like right now, I'm gonna add a little framing because I'm thinking like, instead of having a basic ceiling, what if we have this detached? So it's almost like plating or covering for the ceiling, and the actual ceiling has little pipes or wires that go through them. Well, will there be radiation meds if you pick up a contaminated item so you don't just die? Unsure. Unsure. All valid questions. Will there be a storyline with lore? Yes, indeed. You're welcome to figure it out. Heck, why don't you post a video on it? I'll probably be watching. You'll get at least one view. I'll tell you that. Crawl sequence. I don't have to tell you about the crawl sequence because I already have a crawling mechanism. Yeah, this won't end poorly. Yeah, this won't end. I would never confine you. I would never confine you to tight spaces. Idea, make a shapeshifter entity. Well, okay. General shapeshifters, if you don't even a computer the science, you know, shape is an element of the same item. Well, no, well, if you're talking about shape-shifting items, I already kind of have something planned for that. Like, I have the scanners that can scan the false objects, and I just need to, like, script the whole thing. Can you push other people to, like, steal a hiding spot? All features that you can consider suggesting. Okay. Back into figuring out how I'm gonna do this. We're just laying this out generally, like we don't have to have a polished design in, but it'll definitely help. So let's grab a wall, and then we're gonna steal the texture that I stole from a different room. Room's full of gas. I don't think I can... I mean, that sounds very similar to the fire damp rooms from Doors that already exists. Why would I want something from Doors? 1.5, is that... No, my perfect alignment! No! Yes, that's better. Where have I heard? That is what I intend to do with the stun rod. Begging weakest dummy. Yes, I do intend to allow you to stun other people, and I can already see a lot. There will be a little bit too much trolling. Yeah, okay, so we'll have like a wall segment go here, and then later on I can figure out if I want to like completely fill it with like, if I want to have offices on the side, but for now they can just be the generic wall. Actually, we'll space this out. We'll give it some breathing room. So I have some meshes I can use. Where are they? Ah, here it is. So we'll copy this pillar, put it into meshes, and then use it. I have a suggestions channel on the Discord. It's just a matter of like I have to roll everybody in the stream already. Right now you guys only have access to the welcome channel, and supposedly that is limited. Let's see. Will there be friendly entities? I'll never tell. Oh boy, you're way off. Let's fix this model. 7.8 to 5. Will there be flammable oil leaks? No, I just don't think that it's worth my time to really script that sort of functionality. You should add recordings of the scientists for lore. I don't. Hold on. This will go very well. I'm going to turn on my desktop audio. You guys should be able to hear everything, so... Storage. Let's see, does this...
Attention. Your attention. Biological hazard has been detected within the region. Quarantine lockdown procedures are now in effect.
So, like, those are general voice lines. Where do I have my other voice lines? My actual voice lines. Replicated storage. Trying not to leak anything. That'll be fine. You guys heard that, right? Like, I'm not insane. You guys heard the voice line I played? Like, I'm not crazy if you guys can hear it.
No clearance? Seriously? What are you, a janitor? Lost yours? Whatever. Bus doors aren't locked anyways. Shouldn't be too hard to find somebody alive. Somebody who won't need it anymore.
No clearance? What? Can you never make a fetch quest? They are so boring. If I add fetch quests, they're gonna be interesting, but, and part of progression, not just fetch this item, it's hidden around somewhere, you have to get it. Like, I'm gonna tell you where it is and how you get it. It's a challenge to get to it. So I guess it's not a fetch quest, it's more of an objective. If you don't hear any voice.
What? No clearance? Seriously? What are you, a janitor?
What are you, a janitor? For how long will I be live streaming? I'm gonna be live streaming, assuming I don't die of dehydration, probably for another 2 hours. But that'll probably be my limit. What are my plans after this project? My plans for after this project is update Biohazard, and then work on the next game. I have an idea already for the next game, but I want to fulfill Biohazard first. What is this game? Asks the white one. Biohazard is a multiplayer multiplayer to single player experience that you can play with friends or by yourself, and then you're basically exploring this not ruined. You're in a lab, some sort of lab facility. Office complex. It's under lockdown. Something's happening. You need to get out. And it basically ventures off from there. Claustrophobic caves like in Lethal Company. I don't know. That's a possibility. I have the crawling system, so I could do claustrophobic spaces for sure. So let's get back into development. I'm gonna grab this texture seems pretty nice. So we'll grab that one and then bring it down. Yeah. Good to me. Add a radio if you lose your friends. I could consider a radio item. No, it's just that VC isn't really a great compatible thing. When's your next video? When's my next video coming out, you ask? Depending on progress, it could be in a week, or it could be in a month. In a week to a month would probably be the general consensus. Now that I have a framework to the game, adding more is not as difficult. So here, why don't we add some staircase section here? So going into design. What is my opinion on doors and pressure? Most recently, this is what I've said to everybody, I think, that I've spoken to regarding this. Pressure seems more fun, doors, floor 2 is more polished. That's my general thought on it, is that pressure is more fun than doors, floor 2 is, but that doors, floor 2 is just a more polished experience and feels like what could be offered as part of Roblox. Radio for chat. I mean, depends. Pressure is good. I like pressure. Okay, that's what Yeeted Monday says. Yeah, I've played pressure once before, and it was interesting. I'm not gonna say it was bad. It was terrible. I never want to play that game again. Can I add flooding rooms? No, because that would be like pressure, and we wouldn't want to be like pressure. Are there going to be cutscenes? Only the very beginning, because there's going to be an intro cutscene to the game, and then everything else is going to be live, meaning that you're going to experience the cutscene as you go up through the game. Will you be able to pick up guns and keycards like in Containment Breach? I've been working on a system. This is post-Devlog, so the camera system is still broken, but you can basically pick up items now. Adding contaminated rooms, that's yet to be determined. Can anyone... we can do concept art for the contaminated rooms, but not right this moment, because I want to make sure that we really fulfill what we're doing here with this. I know what we can use. I have a mesh for this. We have a fun little new prop that I didn't get to use, and it'd be really fun if I could use it. Make an item drop system? Probably, yeah. That sounds like a solid feature I can add. Okay, any idea on how many monsters entities? Again, I've said this at the very start of the stream. There's going to be a good variety. I want there to be a good variety so it doesn't feel like it's just the... like, with doors, it's either figure, seek, or any of the variety of the smaller ones like Screech and the such. But your main antagonist for the main base game of doors is figure and seek. In floors 2, it turns into figure, seek, and grumble, or whatever it's called. Can I add a feature where you need to decontaminate an object by doing a minigame on a PC? Example, a key. There might be a way to decontaminate stuff, but as of right now, I don't have any plans. We'll change the color of this, make it darker so it has like a better contrast. But this is looking good. How? Okay, we're gonna try 8 point. Move by 8.4. Am I insane? How long is this? Oh, we're in 16. Why is my... stupid increments. I don't need your help, increments. Let me move this how I want to. $16.4 before. You're kidding me? How do I disable this? When building the map, why not do it in Blender and import? I mean, it's not... Roblox Studios is different in the sense where you actually need to have a physical built map, like, part by part. It's not like I can import in Blender and assign different faces, certain textures, and such. I might be able, like, to design a basic block out of the map in Blender, but I don't know. I guess this is just force of habit to do it like this. I'm infuriated, though, that I can't move this because of their stupid increments, the silly Roblox increment system. I'll have to do it by hand, but that's never stopped me before. Can I add a tiny enemy that comes in hordes but can be killed with something like a shocker? Yeah, you're welcome to figure out what that might be and then make a suggestion in the Discord channel. I'm not thinking of adding any water-based entities right now because I don't want to go into the wonderful world of water. I am loving this concept, though. Alright, so... yeah, we'll just... okay, we're gonna do it like maybe one per one of these. So for each one of the fencing, it gets its own little desk. And then... just for... it feels like it's too many. What if I get rid of... yeah, that spaces it, and that spaces it out a bit. And then we can get one of the long ones in here. Please add a toilet. I'll consider adding that bathrooms if I get major popular suggestions for it. Oh my gosh. Roblox added this? That's wild. I can do it by face. That's incredible. That's insane. Am I gonna make it scary? I'm gonna try. I want to try and make it scary. Ironically, I'm not great with horror games. So I might not actually be good with my own game at all. You guys might be better than I am at my own game. But that's okay. Because I'm just not good with video games in general. Please add a room with it. No, I'm not gonna add insanity. I have never seen a game that's really made insanity as a fun feature. It's always just made the game unnecessarily difficult, or it's I hate like meters that go up that you can't control. If you claim you're going to be better at my own game, you better prove it. Ceiling projectors playing random work safety videos. Okay, that's a concept that I like. Another game that I've worked on has used projectors, and we had like a briefing room where it played a video from the projector. But the problem is, with Roblox, you can only play two videos at a time. I don't think you can play any more than two. So I could add projectors, but it would be incredibly rare, as in there'd only be two in the whole game. Do you guys want to continue with this concept? Like, this is good enough for me to go off of, but do you guys want to continue with this office hallway concept, or do you want to move on to like maintenance tunnels? I'm waiting for the description. Who again, as for the, before I move on to maintenance, since everybody wants maintenance tunnels, apparently, the lights are non-uniform. 1, for better shadows. 2, an architect didn't design this. I'm gonna say it there, and you get to figure it out. Play the game, and you can make sense of the lore. Fine! I see you! You're all screaming for maintenance tunnels! That's all you want! Okay then, we're gonna move on to maintenance tunnels. If this is what you really want. I have no idea what I'm doing because I haven't made any of this before. Okay, what am I gonna... I don't even have a floor material. Great, look what you've done. Look what you've made me do. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm unprepared. Oh, whatever, we're just gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it, and, I have no idea what I'm doing. Concrete floor. That, yep. I'm good at game development. I could do this. You were born in the tunnel, molded by it. Alright then. We're gonna have a different variety. So we're gonna have, like, one is gonna be just a basic maintenance tunnel where it's just gonna have, like, long hallway, pipes on the walls, dim lighting, etc. And then we can do some other varieties like maintenance catwalks and such, and you guys can stop yelling at me about everything. I might redesign this prop later. Is this all you wanted from me? This is all I've been demanded of. Is this silly maintenance room? How big is the player? Let's get a player model in here. Let's get best employee in on the job. Whoa, buddy. What happened to you? Why did you get scaled? There we go. It's his first day on the job. He's got clearance 1. Well, I say dim lighting mostly because, like, primary power's been kind of knocked out. I can have bright lighting. I guess you're right in that a lot of maintenance tunnels do just make it very dim, but I am only gonna have, like, emergency lighting, and maintenance tunnels would be a non-priority. I don't know who Maxwell is. I don't know. You can't just make me add Easter eggs. This is terrible. I'm unprepared. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just designing for the sake of it. Maxwell's a cat, you say. Is it from that game Stray? What am I thinking of? I don't know. I don't know who Maxwell is. But is it from... I'm assuming it's from Stray. That's the only one I know. I don't know then. I don't know who Maxwell the cat is. You can't make fun of me for this. I just don't know. I don't know the meme. Who's Maxwell? This is what I'm saying. Alright, where's my metal stuff? We need to get some metal up in here. There we go. We'll make custom meshes for everything. Set of piping using electrical, one large pipe. Yeah, that's fair. The piping idea, or having different electrical stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm being pinged in the Discord regarding Maxwell. I can't be bothered. You guys can't make fun of me for this. This is absurd. I can't be made fun of. If you have a question, speak your mind, and I will try to respond. Adios to who again? Who gave helpful insight on maintenance tunnels. Alright. Oh wait, now I'm cooking. Now I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I'm not silly. I have an idea. I have an idea! Where did my assets go? What? I'm gonna have to use this. Whatever. Good enough. I know what I'm doing. This is gonna be epic. Alright, we're gonna... Basically, whatever that guy who knew about maintenance tunnel said is that it was very bright. So, let's add ceiling light. Let's add good ceiling. Oh, yes. We'll make it thin but tall. Now we're cooking. Here we go. Let's grab a ceiling light. Alright, so these are the old ceiling lights. Where did my maintenance? I'm getting lost in my own game. Position. We'll move the position of the light. Adjust the size. Here we go. So everybody's saying I'm gonna to make it thinner. No, because I have to fit certain things in the tunnels, and it's gonna have a lot of pipe work and whatever. So I think it'll be fine. Alright, so usually with lighting I have a lot of things going on, but for this, we're just gonna have a surface light. And put it on the bottom, no, the top. Oh, yes. Okay, now we're going places. Now we're going places. Oh, you're in... I'm not answering that question. I'm having too much fun with... There we go. Now we have some lighting concepts going up in here. This is... That's... That'll be alright. Huh. There we go. Yeah, that's much better. We can have the... And it looks so good to have the highlight there, the colored highlight, offset by the red. And then what we're going to do with the other side is... we're going to make this asymmetrical, because why not? Why is so much of our science dangerous? Why not? I don't think I'm monetized yet. I haven't received any notice, but then again, I don't know how to make a YouTube channel, so here we are. Add a wedge. Whoa, that's way off in the distance. Oh, yeah, it's not gonna be symmetrical. Your OCD. You wish, but at least I'll make everything aligned for the most part. I'll eyeball the rest. Yeah, this isn't gonna end well for the OCD players. Okay, here we go. Uh-huh. Yeah. Professional Roblox developer. What a job title. This is with the lit up lighting, by the way. What does it look like? Oh. Oh, that's something else. That's a mood right here. That is a mood. What have I done? Oh boy, now we're getting places. Now we're getting places. Oh, and with the shadows. Yes. Uh-huh. Okay, so we'll have these emergency lights down here, on the sides, kind of hanging off that way. What is it? We'll run a wire. I got a wire mesh somewhere. We'll steal it from here. Smooth cylinder. And then we'll put it in my meshes folder. Officially stolen. Oh, yes. Peak lighting. Here we go. Yeah, we can. I'm excited enough to consider new emojis. So, well, why not? Oh, that's so good, and we'll have the wire. All right, intense ceiling light. And we'll put that, if I can even scroll up to a lighting folder. Regarding metal doors that perhaps like force entities to take other routes, well, part of that is that it's going to be multiplayer, so I can already see some people like soft locking their friends so that they can get stuck in certain areas, so who knows? It's an interesting idea, it's just like one that can be abused. Okay, we're gonna mess with the lighting even more, so we'll make this actually go up to the full amount. And to the OCD people, yes, I am eyeballing this. Yep, and then some of them will be turned off, so it'll be all dark in some areas, and then some of them will be on. You'll allow all players to open and close doors, it shouldn't cause any. Well, if players can open the doors from both ends, then so might the entities, because they're not like gonna be dumb entities. Are you adding voice chat at approximately once, so people are far, you cannot listen to them. Okay. Well, we had to wait, Mr. Chicken. We couldn't have just gone right into this, otherwise it wouldn't have cooked up some interesting lighting. You know, it takes patience and time. No, see, now I'm not feeling it. What happened? Something's not right. Yeah, it was too many emergency lights. So we'll have very few emergency lights, which ironically is the important part, and then lots of the primary lights, because I like the normal one here. Okay, for now we're just gonna have some temporary pipe model. I'm not gonna do anything special. How many how many years experience do I have on Roblox Studios? I have roughly, this would be like maybe my 3rd year. But it's honestly something I could have started a year ago and had more progress on. Now, here's what I'm going to make it interesting with here's where, okay, if we're talking about concepts, perhaps, like, every 5 minutes or something like this, the whole maintenance sector, because, like, primary power is down, they're on conservation mode. So perhaps the whole maintenance sector, every 5 minutes, will lose power, like, for 30 seconds. So every 5 minutes, like, all the lights cut off except for the emergency lights, for 30 seconds, maybe to a minute, and it can be it could be really interesting as it cycles back on. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere with these build concepts. Like the first one, it was interesting. Hard to see, but the first one was interesting. Very good lobby stuff that will be good to build more on. But now we're cooking up with the maintenance tunnel design, and then in addition to the stuff that already exists, like the lobby, just like the basics here. Now we're going places. How big am I planning on making a maintenance sector? Pretty big. There's going to be a lot of interactive stuff. Like, think about the maintenance sector from Control. And if you haven't heard of Control, well then, what are you doing with your life? Go look up a playthrough. It's really good. Can you make it so that there's a toaster when you interact with it? It says it doesn't work, but then when you use a tool of electricity, toast pops out. Sure thing. Yeah, stone rod. Just I'll shock the thing to life. Make a suggestion so I don't forget. Imagine getting chased down maintenance tunnels and all this. Oh, yeah. Imagine getting chased down maintenance tunnels and all of a sudden the lights go red and you can barely see with some monster screeching up on you. Add some sort of secret ladder room that leads down to the maintenance. It's not going to be a secret, but it's going to be one of those, like... Subnautica is really good with this. It's one of those, like, Subnautica lets you go anywhere. You're allowed to go anywhere you want, and then, you're just too afraid. You don't have the willpower to go down deeper because you're afraid of what's there. So, like, maintenance sector is going to be one of those things where it's like, do I really want to risk it? It's not going to be doors where you're forced to go through. You're going to be considering it for a long time. Like, maintenance sector is a good shortcut to get to this place, or I have to do something in the maintenance sector. Do I go down there? How is life? Life is good. Life is pretty good right now with biohazard and everything. So, we're just gonna keep it up. Maybe for another hour, and then we're done. I think, like, we're just gonna continue streaming maybe for another hour, and then no live playtest, but that'll be coming up soon. If you join the Discord, you'll be able to get a notice for that when we do get a live playtest. Will the maintenance sector be more dangerous? 100%. 100% it will be more dangerous. Good luck. This is just concept art. What we're doing right here, this is just concept. I have a design now. Like, now that I know what materials I'm using or what textures, oh boy, we're gonna have some fun stuff. Yes, there'll be lots of juicy lore for many to absorb. I'm planning on adding joke entities, only for joke holidays like April Fools. Am I gonna add fire exits? No, this is not Lethal Company where, like, the buildings are above ground or, like, it's an easy exit. So adding fire exits is kind of difficult. There could be shelters I could add, but, it depends. Yeah, I could definitely add emergency exits to other sectors. This feels like level 2 of the back rooms. It's not going to be this repetitive hallway. It's not just going to be like this one hallway. This is concept art. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to take this concept art that we have for the builds and we're going to make more unique designs. Like, we're going to make more unique hallway spaces like this one. Let's copy this over. Well, we have one-way doors. There's no one-way doors, but there are one-way key cards. Or keycard door. Okay, technically there are one-way doors, but that depends on your clearance. So this is a feature that's currently in the game, but if you don't have clearance, you can go through this door one way. So this would be if you were on this side of the door, you can go through it. But on this side of the door, it's locked. So in case you get stuck somewhere, you can go back. But on this side, it's locked, and you need clearance to be able to unlock it. So we'll just quickly give myself the clearance because I don't have it. Clearance. And we'll set, it's a number attribute, and I'm going to give myself 5. There we go. No clearance? What are you, a janitor? Will there be decorations for stuff like Halloween and Christmas? Yeah, if I can, like, I'll make some Halloween decor, and there'll be some Halloween stuff. Maybe even some actual in-game features for the event. I think a good idea is that the maintenance sector should have a lot of loot. Regarding loot, it depends. We'll see. We will see. I can't add fire exits because there's nowhere to exit to. It's all underground. Well, I can lead you to a rock wall. How long have I been doing Roblox development? I've been doing it for roughly 3 years. I've been working on this game for about 3 months, really. It's really been like 3 months. No clearance? Oh, somebody's got to make a meme of that. The no clearance with the Megamind gif. Can there be a different hiding spot besides closets that are unique like vents? Perhaps. Like, here's what I have on the vents. Like, okay, it's hard to see, but it's like a simple little thing. Well, okay, you don't fit unless you go through. I don't fit. Something's wrong here. I'll figure it out later. I don't fit. I'm too fat. That's terrible. And I broke this. Okay, I broke a lot of things since the devlog, but I'm fixing up the core scripts. That is a problem for me later. Yeah, then no clearance. Oh boy, what else do I have? Let's do some more concept builds then. Alright, we have maintenance tunnels. We did a bit of this lobby stuff. What could we do then? We could try make... Actually, you know what? Yeah, go ahead. Make some suggestions. What could we try and build? What is it that we're gonna build today? Now that we've done these concept... Maintenance bridge, he says. Maintenance bridge, offices, main working area, testing area, I'm seeing. Well, Easter eggs isn't a build. Laboratory section, bathrooms, bridge over canyons of rocks and water. Yeah, we can make some catwalks. I don't have the props for some of the other stuff, but we can do catwalks. So, what is it? We're gonna use a default. Default diamond plate is gonna be our base. And we're gonna start with that. And we're just gonna go off from there. So, let's see. We'll make it yay wide. Yes, I saw the Discord server with the no clearance meme. No clearance? What are you, a janitor? Good friend. Actually, you know what, chat? What's his name? What is his name? I've been wondering. Right now, he's the best employee. He's our #1 employee. What is his name? What do we name him? He needs a name. You wanted no clearance? There. I'm seeing a lot of Johnny, Jim, Billy, Robert. What is it going to be? Dave, Gerald and Dave. Okay, it's between Gerald and Dave. It's between Gerald and Dave. Gerald or Dave? I'm seeing the Dave supremacy. It's gonna be Dave. It is Dave. Dave fan supremacy. There you go. Dave. That is wild. Okay, back to the stream. Dave, have you seen your what? Make his name tag say Dave. Yeah, I need to make these customizable. It's gonna have, where it has the little the conglomerate logo, it's gonna be the person's face. And then on the side is gonna be their info, like name, Dave, Clarence, Clarence1, etc. I'll put Dave in the thumbnail of the game. Yeah, he's gonna be in a hyper-realistic render, and it's just gonna be Dave. How long did you take to learn Lua and the skill you have now? It's just practice. Like, I have a year in basically everything, but it's just practice, really. Dave, did you know that you're employee of the month? What are you? What are you? That's impossible. He's not employee of the month. He's employee of the year. Dave is our mascot of Biohazard. What? He's the mastermind. He's like Darth Jar Jar. It was him all along. He was the man behind the slaughter. No, it couldn't have been him. He's our best employee. It would never have been Dave. Anyone who says otherwise is an anti-Dave supporter. He's a Gerald, so if you think that Dave caused the incident, you're a Gerald supporter. Do we have... I hope we don't have any Gerald supporters among us. Yeah, Dave would never do anything wrong. Gerald is like the evil doppelganger of Dave. Are you a Gerald supporter? Don't be like Gerald. Be more like Dave. Gerald wishes he was Dave, but he's not. I don't have the meshes for he took Dave's powdered donuts. Yeah, if next devlog reaches 50,000 views, I'll make a Gerald. If next devlog gets 50,000, we're at 40,000 on the current one, so I think it's gonna be I think it's easy, but we'll see. Actually, no. We'll do it like this. If I reach 5,000 subscribers, I'll add Gerald. We'll have a Gerald, and he'll be the evil doppelganger of Dave. Actually, let's make it official. This is Dave here. So we're gonna take Dave, and he is... We don't need the status, we only need the name. There we go. But yeah, that's it. You can't subscribe now, because if you subscribe, you're gonna manifest Gerald into existence. You can't do it. We're just gonna have to stay at 2,000 subscribers for the rest of time, because we can't let Gerald manifest into existence. It's just gotta be... Dave can be the only... person. Dave can be the only one remaining. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. We forgot that, Gerald may be a Clarence 1 sort of guy, but Dave's a Clarence 5 sort of fellow. Gerald is Clarence 1, but Dave got a promotion. Wild band, and then Dave for director. Yep, Clarence 5. Yeah. Maximum clearance 5 is like director. That's the clearance I reserved for myself. The only reason it's in the game is so I can flex clearance on y'all in game. You're most likely only gonna get up to junior supervisor in the game. Gerald is just personnel access, and we don't even know if he has his own clearance. Dave has a clearance 5. He's supervising. It's his second day on the job. It's his second day on the job. That is wild. Now we're gonna add my favorite, the unique assets. Crooked. Oh, we have to do the Megamind pose again? Alright, let's see, what was it? No clearance. No clearance? Do I hear no clearance? That's wild. What are you, a janitor? Exactly. Clearance, Dave. No clearance. What are you, Gerald? That's hilarious. I'm gonna have to record an alternate line. Now with clearance 5. That's wild. That is wild. No, he doesn't need any custom uniform because he's a man of the people. He wears he wears what everyone else wears, the basic office uniform. He doesn't need any sort of custom tuxedo. He doesn't flout his wealth. The only thing he needs to flout is that clearance 5, not because he's like that, but because he's supervisor, because he's forced to wear this, because he's Dave. Everybody just randomly joining in the stream is going to be very confused as why are we talking about this Dave fellow? Oh, how long did okay, I swear I've seen this question the 3rd time from you, but how long did it take to learn Lua to the skill you have now? I messed around with Lua for roughly 6 months-ish. I wasn't getting too much better. But what's different is I got into a sort of like mentorship program, which taught me like programming. Or they didn't teach me, but they challenged me on programming, and they got me to do different challenges, like learn how to basically like try and simulate Conway's Game of Life. That's something with one of the challenges we had to do, and basically it just taught me, okay, maybe there's some variety to what I can script. And they generally just corrected whenever I did anything wrong. Let's get back into game dev. Alright, we have just this general... Dave fellow and maintenance catwalk. Okay, so, I don't know. We'll figure out the maintenance catwalks later. We were cooking over here, but then not so much anymore. So let's make some props, perhaps? We're just gonna move on over to props, I think, yeah. So let's see. How do I switch the stream to view Blender? 1 second, everybody. Gonna click that. There we go. 100 likes. Perfectly balanced. Dave just exists. Dave just materialized. You don't question where Dave comes from. You just know that he's there. It's his second day on the job. He has clearance 5. What do you have to lose? Hello, random person here. I've been wanting to make games for a while, though I have some really good ideas on some games. Problem is that I don't know much with the code in Blender. Any tips? Practice. I mean, honestly, it's just, I could only really suggest practice. Okay, we're gonna make a little, like, you know those, like, fancy little cylinder lights that you see on the ceilings? We're gonna make one of those. Because it's fancy, and I wanna be sophisticated. I wanna be part of the upper class with my fancy little ceiling lights. Or, I don't know. It's not that I want it to be. I want to have a fancy facility, is what I want. So, we're just going to have a little... So it'll be... We're just going to make a variety of simple props. It's not going to be anything difficult. We're just going to make some variety, and that'll be all. And we'll talk about it as we go along. So this is now, if you have suggestions, I am open to them. Make a post-it that says, be cool, but not as cool as Dave. So we're going to be opening up to suggestions now. Do you use an SSA framework? I don't even know what SSA is, so I probably don't use an SSA framework. Are you a Gerald or are you a Dave? Old school phone. Yeah, I mean, a lot of our tech is going to be retro in a modern office environment. Like, modern office as in, like, the lights are going to be modern-esque. It's going to be more, like, sterile looking. Okay, sadly, I do already have a coffee mug model. The problem is it's on my laptop, and I need to still import that, but basically there's no point making another one. Out of parking lot? Who do you think you are, Dave? You don't own a vehicle. Nobody owns a vehicle. Make the Dave GIF a sticker. I'll make it a sticker after the stream. You should make a lobby type room with hanging lights that you're making right now. Yeah, I already... Okay, so we made a room previously, like a long hallway, with an overhang of office desks. So this is basically going to be down the middle. And we're just going to make some random models. Yeah, this is good enough for now. I'll just auto smooth it. Yeah. Alright, we'll export this, put it in Studio, and... Alright, so... cylinder. Fancy light cylinder. We'll call it Fancy Light Cylinder. And I'm already going back to streaming Roblox Studios. That's incredible. Alright then. If I messed up the normals on this, I'm gonna cry. I don't think I messed them up. It should be all fine. Yeah. What? There we go. So we'll take this and we'll put it in lights into a grouped model, fancy light, and so with this we're gonna make it a bit bigger, so 0.7, 0.7, 0.15. Actually, we're gonna make this 0.2 or 2. And now we're gonna get this thing, and we're going to have it down the middle of the model. So smooth cylinder, position, frame, light, There we go. Can lights. Are they really called can lights? That's wild. At a cargo bay with a big monster in it where you have to make it to the other side of the cargo bay without getting noticed. That's actually a thing from one of Control's DLCs. It's an interesting idea, though. Like, I'm open to it. I can't believe this is called can lights, though. You're kidding me. That's so wacky. No, the Dave merchandising. Is this what Pressure has Sebastian? I have Dave. What do you have on me? Nothing, because I have Dave. Dave of the month. Dave. I don't use F3XB tools. I'm afraid not. We need Dave merchandise. It's a recessed can of light, but there are canless lights. That's incredible. Dave, an entity? Whoa, I think you're mistaken. Dave's just an employee who happens to have clearance 5. I think you're getting your facts a little wrong. I have the power of Dave on my side. No, you can't assemble the gang. Sebastian versus Dave. That's wild. You're gonna start beef with me and the Pressure devs. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's the game like Doors. Do you have to go through randomized rooms with entities? Biohazard is a non-linear experience. What that means is that I randomly generate everything, but it's not only the main route. It's also, it's better just to demo it, really. Biohazard is non-linear in the sense, like, there's all sorts of ways you can go. It's not like you go in only one direction. There's lots of other dead-end offices that you can find all sorts of stuff in. And you're basically just trying to complete different objectives and escape. It all depends, though. That is wild generation. Look at this cross. Like, you enter this room, and it's like the Doors cross room. But then it has hallways that goes off in other directions. This loops. Like, this is what I love about this procedural generation, is that it actually loops back. This is wild. Dave is so Dave. He has a shop to help. Well, okay. I don't think... Dave is a humble employee, so I wouldn't think he'd be one to sell company property. But we'll see. Loop room. Go in a loop. Should make some sort of weeping angel. Please add an old school radio and stapler. There's gonna be some way that... Yes. I do realize that it can be wildly confusing about going backwards and such. So number one, it's not gonna be this big. Like, I'm gonna break it up into regions, but it's not gonna be this big. So let's actually open up... Ooh, I'm gonna leak everything. Too bad. Let's generate 5 rooms. That's the initializer. So, yep, we only generated 5 rooms. Okay, I lied. We generated 5 rooms that lead towards the actual final destination. So, how does it connect? Oh, that's wild. Technically, because the generation could have looped rooms, it connects, like, right here to there. Oh, no, silly Billy. I'm afraid that I've hidden the procedural generation code in another module. You'll never find it. Or, well, we'll see. We'll see if you find it. Fastest run ever. That'd be wild. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, here's how it goes. So it starts here. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it connects. But technically, you can just go from 1 to 5. There. So, speedrunning, finally go crazy. Yeah, speedrunning is gonna be wild since most likely, well, you still have to complete tasks, so it's entirely possible that speedruns could take longer, even though the generation makes it easier. But I can definitely see this is gonna be like a Minecraft sort of scenario where it's gonna be a Minecraft sort of scenario where people are just gonna be speedrunning different seeds to the game. Alright, as I mentioned prior, like, I was only going to go off for 1 more hour, so now you have 23-ish minutes left. We're going to continue. Back to concept builds. So we have, like, the little... Oh, okay. This is really nothing. I really don't know why I wasted time with this, but... Something. Dave. You know what? This was productive. We got Dave out of this. And then we had the maintenance... Actually, you know what? No. We're going to do 8 minutes. I'm going to do Q&A, so if you have suggestions that you want to mention, now would be the time. So if you have suggestions, if you have ideas, I think we got a lot of different stuff done between the actual builds. These are great concepts that are going to go into the next devlog. Then we have Dave, of course. We talked over existing features a little bit. We didn't go over gameplay, but that can be a different stream. In the future, I do want to have a stream for modeling more stuff, but for now, I'm just going to be doing open note suggestions and Q&A. So, can we have 20 minutes of Dave? Also, can there just be a car inside that... I don't think I can fit a car inside, and I don't know how to model a car. Can you post the clearance images in the Discord server? I'll make a sticker for it. Use the quality of life dragger beta feature. I don't think so. I'd have to look into that. I don't know what it is. At a hospital room. I could have like a medical sector. That's perhaps... Will you be able to chat with Dave? That depends if you can find Dave. Or boss fight at the end? That depends if you can find a boss fight. Replicates the storage. That'd be wild. Sorry you mentioned this, but this is meant to be like a laboratory place, kind of like an SCP facility. That'd be pretty accurate. It's an underground lab/office. And there's some sort of thing going on that you have to go through. Some sort of event. Will there be a doors, rooms reference? I don't think so. It's always a possibility. You'd have to find it. Dave, the super rare guy that you can find as a flex. That might be. You might find Dave. Who knows? Make best employee for the month is Dave. And the worst employee of the month is Gerald. Gerald... What rank is Dave canonically in the lore? You'd have to find out in-game. Art, do you plan for anything similar to The Breach or Nuke Shelter? If you're referring to other games I've worked on, no, this would be very different. Is Gerald just Dave with angry eyebrows? Who knows? You'll have to find out at 5,000 subscribers. Also, will you make some sort of huge warehouse room with too many shelves? That's always a possibility. I'll consider more streams, but this was pretty intensive as a first stream, so I will decide on it later. Make Dave our friend and guide. Perhaps. Graphics setting. I did mention that the graphics don't look great at lower settings. The good news is that it's pretty optimized in the sense that it's not an intensive game. Like, it's not a super big one in terms of, like, what I'm going to do with it. And it's only going to be like a max of 4 players, but it doesn't look good at lower settings, so I still have to mess around with it. 5 more minutes to wrap everything up. Am I going to make any sort of animals? That always depends. Cafeteria food. Monster inside joke. I think that was mentioned before. That's always a possibility, yeah. Very similar to Doors' Timothy, so sure thing. 50 player rounds, someone demands. When did I create Dave the dummy? You can see, and I think I mentioned, yeah, in the Discord. In the announcements, if you scroll up in announcements, you can find the very first day I posted Dave. When will the next devlog be? Hopefully somewhere in the next month or two. that depends on how much content I get done. This stream definitely did help. I'm going to be doing a lot of off-camera work. So hopefully within like a month or two. But the game is like scheduled for hopefully before the end of December, because I want to have it out before the holidays. Final thoughts then? I'm glad that all of you were here for the past for the past 2 hours ish. It's been an interesting 2 hours. Almost, what is it? I can't count. Can we do a test stream? So in the future, we can have an early access for quality assurance. You can join my Discord for that. You're welcome to keep up with this game. That is what I'm hoping for, because this is supposed to be what a quality professional Roblox game can really be, not just basing it out. If I started at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time and it's 2:41 Eastern Time, then it has to be 2 hours. That is math, correct? Are you going to be any snacks or maybe vending machines? That's a good suggestion. You can put that in the Discord and we can talk about that more. You should add a mini-map of tool of areas you've explored so it's easier not to get lost. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm going to have like in-game maps as well. Like I'll have procedurally generated 2D maps as well that show you where you are. But am I going to edit this and put this bit in as a video? I don't think so. I'm going to archive this, probably, so this is a stream people can rewatch, but I don't think I'm going to do an edited highlights of it. Like, I thought, I'm going to be honest, I thought Doors was made by one person. I didn't check the credits very well. I thought it was only made by Elsplash and then maybe one other person, but it turns out I think I've been misled into thinking it was just him. So it's interesting now that I'm actually making a game on my own. Dave propaganda requests. Changing the computers. I will okay, here you are again, Cole, with the Linux programming terminals. I don't have Linux, so we'll see about that. You can continue to lobby that suggestion and see if more people approve. Nick Dave telling us. This room has hazardous air, says Dave. Alright then, yeah, I think that's everything. I'm going to move on over now to the Discord and start rolling everybody who joined. We can start discussing the stream if that is something you're interested in. I'll be doing a bit more of Q&A via chat, but I think this is the end of the actual live stream now. Suggestions can all go in the Discord. I read through like 95% of it. Anything I don't read is because I just missed it. So, thanks everybody for keeping up with this. I'm glad for the people who did come, for the people that stayed through, watched the whole thing, got to see all the variety of things that we did. I didn't show everything, obviously, but